the Garifuna guardians of the sea and soil. Where waves meet roots a people endure. The screen fades in from black to the golden glow of dawn over the Honduran coast. Waves crash against the shore. As a weather, Garifuna fishing boat cuts through the surf. A deep resonant drumbeat pulses like a heartbeat, syncing with the rhythm of the ocean. The camera zooms in on Ito's calloused hands, pulling in at his eyes, scanning the horizon with the wisdom of generations. For centuries, the Garifuna have danced between two worlds, booms the narrator born from shipwrecks and rebellion, their roots dug deep into the soil, their souls tied to the sea. The scene erupts in emotion. Children sprinting down the beach, women pounding cassava flames, licking a clay pot before freezing on a defiant elder's face. But now their survival is under threat. The music drops as the title slams onto the screen. Guardians of the sea and soil. The last stand of the Garifuna sailing into legacy. The ocean as teacher at dawn. The coastline of Honduras glows gold, reflecting the first rays of the sun. Across the tranquil waters, in the village of Punter, Pedra, 52-year-old, Ito stands tall beside his weathered fishing boat. Its vibrant paint, faded by countless hours under the tropical sun. He is a seasoned Garifuna captain, a man whose eyes have memorized every rhythm of the sea, every subtle shift in the current, every whisper of the wind. The ocean to him is not just a workplace. It is an old friend, a living archive of stories, passed from generation to generation, an entity that demands respect and offers sustenance, a wounded journey from St. Vincent to Central America. To truly understand the Garifuna, you must first travel back over two centuries, to the lush, volcanic island of St. Vincent in the Caribbean. This island, a jewel in the Lesser Antilles, became the crucible for the unique culture that would eventually populate the shores of Central America. Here, in the tumultuous late 17th and early 18th centuries, a remarkable fusion occurred. Survivors of slave shipwrecks, primarily from West and Central Africa, found refuge among the indigenous Arawak people, also known as the Caribs Kalinago, who had long inhabited the island. Unlike many other parts of the Americas, where enslaved Africans were forced into labor camps, under brutal conditions on St. Vincent, they integrated with the indigenous population, forming a powerful alliance against encroaching European powers. Over generations, the two cultures fused, creating a new people, the Garifuna. They adopted aspects of both African and Arawak traditions, forming a distinct language, religious practices, musical forms, and social structures. Their resilience was born from this powerful synthesis, a unique heritage forged in the face of adversity, with African blood flowing through their veins and Arawak roots grounding them to the land. They developed a spirit born of resistance, a profound independence that would define their future. They were known for their fierce defense of their territory, successfully repelling British attempts at colonization for decades. But peace did not last indefinitely. In the late 1700s, after a series of protracted conflicts, known as the Carib Wars, the British finally gained control of St. Vincent. In one of history's less spoken, yet profoundly impactful acts of displacement, the Garifuna were rounded up, imprisoned on the barren island of Belize, and then forcibly exiled to the coast of Central America. In 1797, thousands embarked on this perilous journey, crammed onto ships, a testament to the brutality of colonial expansion. They arrived battered, exhausted, and decimated by disease, but crucially not broken. They carried with them their vibrant language, their rhythmic music, their spiritual beliefs, their knowledge of agriculture and seafaring, and an unyielding refusal to forget who they were and where they came from. The fishers of Punter Pedra, eyes on the sea back in Punter Pedra, as the sun climbs higher, casting dappled light through the palm fronds. A group of fishermen gather on the shore, their keen eyes scanning the vast surface of the ocean. The air is thick with the scent of salt and anticipation from the beach children, their laughter echoing across the water. Shout directions, their small fingers pointing towards subtle ripples on the water surface or clusters of seabirds diving aggressively overhead. Sure signs that fish are near. This is not just a game. It's a vital part of the fishing operation, as the sharp eyes of the young often spot what the older, more experienced fishermen might miss from a distance. Fishing here is not a solitary endeavor. It is deeply community-driven, a collective effort that underscores the Garifuna ethos of shared responsibility and mutual support. Nets, often hand-woven and meticulously maintained, are cast in wide, graceful arcs, creating a communal trap for the unsuspecting schools of fish. As the tide pulls, threatening to drag the precious catch away, men on the shore tug together, their muscles straining, their voices chanting in unison to synchronize their efforts faster. One yells, his voice hoarse but determined. Their escaping the tension is palpable. The energy infectious, the rhythmic pulling of the nets is a testament to their unity, each man contributing his strength to the common goal. But not every haul is bountiful. Sometimes the fish outsmart them, darting away at the last moment, or sometimes the sea simply offers little. A stark reminder of nature's unpredictability. Still they try again, watching patiently for signals, a sudden shimmer on the water, a fleeting flick of movement, a subtle change in the ocean's temperament. They understand that patience is as crucial as strength. In their profession, they work not for individual profit or for accumulation of wealth, but for shared survival, for the sustenance of their families and the entire village. The concept of individual ownership of resources is often secondary to the collective well-being. Once the nets are full, or sometimes dishearteningly empty, the next ritual begins: the meticulous and fair dividing of the catch. This is a practice rooted in generations of tradition and governed by unwritten rules of equity. 7 sailors, if that's the number who participated, means 7 shares. Each person involved in the arduous task receives an equal portion, ensuring that no one goes without. What remains after the communal distribution is then sold to neighbors, often at a modest price or traded for other necessities, like cassava bread or fresh produce from the jungle plots. The economy here is not built on greed or market fluctuations, but on sustaining each other, on a deep-seated understanding that their collective welfare is paramount. This system reinforces community bonds, fostering a sense of interdependence, where everyone has a role and everyone benefits from the shared labor. It's a living example of an indigenous economic model, prioritizing communal well-being over individual gain, reflecting values that have sustained them for centuries. A village without walls, life in Punter, Pedra, nestled intimately between the vast expanse of the Atlantic Ocean and the emerald green foothills of the majestic Cordillera, Nombre de Dios Mountains. The village of Punter Pedra is home to around 2,000 Garifuna people. It is a place where the rhythm of life is dictated by the sun, the tides, and the cycles of planting and harvest. There are no paved roads crisscrossing its sandy paths, no complex electrical grids powering every home, no pervasive running water system reaching every dwelling. Yet what it might lack in modern infrastructure, it makes up for in an overwhelming spirit of community, resilience, and a profound connection to the natural world. Life here is a testament to self-sufficiency and deep-rooted tradition. Families live intrinsically off the bounty of the land and the sea, their existence intricately woven into the fabric of their natural surroundings. And while the men valiantly wrestle with the waves, braving the unpredictable ocean to bring in the day's catch, it is often the women who undertake the equally arduous task of battling the dense, encroaching jungle. Their work is a constant testament to their strength and dedication, ensuring the provision of vital agricultural staples. Sila Ito's wife, a woman of quiet strength and formidable determination, embodies this role each day. Often before the sun has fully ascended, she climbs steep muddy trails, machete in hand, into the dense, humid forest to tend their family's plot. The jungle here is a powerful living entity, thick, wet and teeming with life, constantly threatening to reclaim cultivated land. It's always a fight, she says, her brow furrowed in concentration, as she expertly clears a patch of stubborn undergrowth. Stop working for even a month, and the jungle reclaims everything. This constant struggle is not merely about clearing land. It's about asserting human will against the untamed forces of nature. A daily recommitment to survival, but with persistence and a deep understanding of the forest rhythms. These rich soils yield their treasures: the starchy cassava, a fundamental pillar of the Garifuna diet, sweet bananas and plantains, nourishing yams, and a variety of local vegetables and medicinal plants, all staples crucial for Garifuna survival. And their distinctive cuisine: defending ancestral lands, resistance in the roots. This communal land system is not merely a cultural preference. It is a profound political statement and a critical strategy for survival. The Garifuna face relentless and insidious pressure from external forces, powerful developers eager to exploit the pristine coastline, vast palm oil corporations seeking to expand their lucrative plantations, and wealthy real estate speculators who see immense value in the idyllic beaches and fertile hinterlands but conspicuously fail to see or acknowledge the inherent value in the people who have protected and nurtured these lands for generations. These external pressures often manifest as illegal land grabs, intimidation, and even violence, threatening the very fabric of Garifuna society. But the Garifuna resist. Their resistance is not a passive acceptance of their fate. It is an active, ongoing struggle for their very existence. They employ a diverse array of strategies through protests that draw national and international attention, meticulously drafted petitions to government bodies, and impassioned international appeals to human rights organizations and global communities. They steadfastly defend their ancestral territory. Their voices, often amplified by their vibrant music and dance, become a powerful assertion of their rights and their history. This is our country, declares one village elder, his eyes burning with conviction, his voice resonating with the weight of generations. We were born here, we will die here, and we will never sell what is not for sale. This unwavering declaration encapsulates their profound connection to the land, a connection that transcends monetary value. It is a bond woven from history, spirituality, and identity, a sacred trust passed down from their ancestors. Their fight is ongoing, a daily battle for recognition and justice, and it is fierce, often placing them in direct opposition to powerful economic and political interests. But they're fighting not just for physical land boundaries. They are fighting for the preservation of memory, for the spiritual essence of their culture, embedded in the soil for the very future generations who depend on these lands, for their sustenance and identity, and ultimately for their fundamental freedom to exist as a distinct people. They understand that losing their land means losing their way of life, their language, their traditions, their very soul. The Garifuna struggle for land rights is emblematic of broader challenges faced by indigenous communities worldwide. But their unique history of resistance imbues their fight with a particular potency. They remember their exile from St. Vincent, and they are resolute that history will not repeat itself on the Central American coast. Their resilience, in the face of such formidable opposition, is a testament to their indomitable spirit and their deep-seated commitment to their heritage. Each tree they plant, each protest they organize, each story they tell is an act of defiance, a reaffirmation of their enduring presence and their rightful claim to their ancestral home. Celebrating the season's music, dance, and unity as the dry season, a period of parched earth and long waits, eventually draws to a close. A palpable sense of relief and renewed hope washes over the village. This transition is not merely meteorological, it's a cultural marker, a time for profound celebration and communal renewal. A tall, slender maypole rises majestically in the center of the village square. Its smooth trunk, adorned with a vibrant cascade of colorful ribbons, This ancient symbol, echoing traditions from diverse cultures across the globe, becomes the focal point of joyous activity. Women dressed in their finest traditional attire dance around it with graceful, rhythmic movements, their laughter bubbling freely in the air. This ritual is more than mere festivity. They are sweeping their yards clean, not just of accumulated dust and debris, but symbolically of bad spirits, stale energy, and the weariness of waiting for the life-giving rains. It's a purification, a cleansing of both physical and spiritual spaces, inviting prosperity and renewal. Nearby, under the generous shade of a sprawling, ancient mango tree, its branches heavy with ripening fruit, men gather for another timeless ritual, a spirited game of dominoes. The wooden table, dark and smooth from decades of use, is battered, its surface scarred with countless nicks and indentations from thousands of slant tiles. This table is our battlefield. One man laughs, his eyes twinkling with amusement, as he expertly shuffles a handful of polished dominoes. Thousands of games have worn it down, each one a story, cassava, and community. The flavor of memory as the day wears on, transitioning from the vibrant energy of morning into the gentle warmth of afternoon. A distinct and comforting scent begins to waft through the village of Punter, Pedra, the earthy, wholesome aroma of roasting cassava. This scent is the smell of Garifuna life, a fragrant embrace of ancient techniques and communal effort that has been passed down through countless generations, directly from their ancestors on St. Vincent. The preparation of cassava, or yuca as it's also known, is more than just cooking. It's a meticulously choreographed ritual, a testament to ingenuity and a deep understanding of this versatile route. The process begins with the raw cassava root, which is naturally bitter and contains trace amounts of cyanide. The Garifuna developed ingenious methods to remove these toxins, ensuring the root becomes a safe and nourishing food source. First, the roots are peeled and then grated into a fine pulp, using rough, abrasive grating stones or hand crank graters. This finely shredded cassava is then placed into long, woven tube-like presses called cross, also known as a matapi. These ingeniously designed tubes, often made from palm fibers, are suspended and stretched, exerting pressure that squeezes out every last drop of bitter, starchy liquid. The liquid is carefully collected and allowed to settle, yielding cassava starch tapioca, which can also be used for cooking, demonstrating their zero-waste approach. Crabs at sunset, a family affair, as the afternoon heat gradually fades, giving way to the softer golden hues of sunset. A quiet transformation occurs in the village. The intense labor of the day fishing, farming, preparing cassava begins to subside, and families instinctively gravitate towards the tranquil beauty of the shore. This shift marks a cherished time, a period of shared activity and gentle communion. Before the onset of night, children released from their daily chores or studies dash across the sand with joyous shrieks, their bare feet kicking up miniature clouds of dust. Their excitement is palpable as tiny crabs dart across the damp sand, scrambling back into their burrows with surprising speed. Mothers, their figures silhouetted against the shimmering backdrop of the setting sun, bend low with graceful movements, their eyes keenly scanning the beach for the elusive crustaceans. Baskets, often hand-woven from local fibers, swing rhythmically from their arms, ready to receive the evening's catch. The air is filled with their quiet calls of encouragement to the children and the collective sighs of contentment as the cool sea breeze begins to temper the day's warmth. Machuka, the soul of a people. That night, as the village settles into the comforting embrace of darkness, punctuated by the soft glow of cooking fires and the distant hum of the ocean, a dish called Machuka simmers gently on a traditional clay stove. The rich aromatic steam rising from the pot is not just a promise of a delicious meal. It's the very soul of a people, condensed into a culinary masterpiece. Machuka is more than food. It is a profound cultural statement, a vibrant embodiment of the Garifuna journey, an identity at its heart. Machuka is a simple yet deeply flavorful stew, made with mashed green bananas, plantains, infused with the creamy richness of fresh coconut milk, and brimming with the bounty of the sea. In this particular instance, succulent lobster freshly caught by Ito and his son. The ingredients themselves tell the story of the Garifuna's resourcefulness and their deep connection to their environment. The green bananas are harvested from the dense, tropical forests that flank their villages, a testament to the women's arduous work. Tending the land. The coconut milk, a staple of Caribbean cuisine, comes from the abundant palm trees, swaying along the coast, representing the ease of gathering from the natural surroundings. And the seafood, whether it be fish, shrimp, conker in this case, the prize lobster, is a direct gift from the vast life-giving ocean, brought in by the skilled hands of the Garifuna fishermen. Every element of Machuka has a purpose and a place, contributing to a harmonious whole. The green bananas are carefully boiled until tender, then meticulously mashed into a thick, smooth consistency, providing the comforting base of the dish. The fresh coconut milk, extracted from grated coconut meat, lends its characteristic sweetness and velvety texture, creating a rich broth to this. A medley of fresh seafood is added, often simmered lightly to retain its delicate flavor. Onions, garlic, sweet peppers, and fragrant herbs, like cilantro or ritzau, are often included, contributing layers of aromatic complexity. A hint of Scotch bonnet pepper might be added for a gentle warmth, reflecting their African culinary heritage. The elder, a wise and respected figure in the community, gestures towards the bubbling pot with a knowing smile. "It's us," he says, his voice a warm gravelly rumble. A blend African Arawak, European mashed together, seasoned with struggle, made into something strong, beautiful, and unique. This metaphor is profoundly apt. Machuka is a culinary representation of the Garifuna people, themselves a fusion of diverse origins, brought together by shared experiences and historical adversity, resulting in a culture that is robust, flavorful, and incredibly resilient. The process of blending ingredients, much like the blending of cultures, results in something greater than the sum of its parts. One last trip. The sea never sleeps. The morning after the communal feast, under a sky still painted with the faint blush of dawn, Ito invites us for one last journey, a deeper venture into the waters that define his existence. This time we sail farther than before, venturing beyond the familiar coastal fishing grounds, where the deep blue of the ocean truly begins to assert itself. The air is cooler out here, tinged with a bracing saltiness, and the waves, though still powerful, possess a different, more expansive rhythm. There's something different out here, Ito says, his gaze sweeping the horizon. A seasoned navigator, reading the subtle signs of the sea, his hands accustomed to the familiar weight of nets, move with a deliberate grace as he adjusts the lines, feeling for the subtle tugs that indicate a hidden world beneath the surface. The silence between his words is profound, filled only by the gentle slap of waves against the hull and the distant cries of gulls. It's a moment of quiet anticipation, of connecting with the profound mystery of the ocean. And then the haul is heavy, incredibly so, as the nets are painstakingly drawn in. A collective gasp might escape. It's not just fish this time. The bounty is extraordinary. Glistening, vibrant lobster, thick and abundant, their shells shimmering with iridescent hues. There are also large prized fish, unlike those found closer to shore, indicating a rich and undisturbed ecosystem. It's a fisherman's dream, a testament to Ito's knowledge and the ocean's generosity. This is enough for a grand feast, enough to nourish not just his family, but much of the village. The abundance is almost overwhelming, a gift from the deep. But Ito, despite the impressive catch, simply shrugs, a faint, contented smile playing on his lips. His reaction is not one of exaltation or triumph over nature, but rather one of quiet acceptance and profound humility. "If we had caught nothing," he says, his voice calm and unburdened by material concerns, "that would have been okay too. What matters is that we were out here together." His words are a revelation, encapsulating the very essence of the Garifuna philosophy. It's a reminder that the true value lies not in the size of the catch, but in the journey itself, in the shared experience, in the act of being present and connected to the source of their life. Outro: a people between worlds. The Garifuna teach us that resilience isn't just survival. It's singing while you fight, feeding your enemies from the same pot as your family. Their story lives in every cassava root split open, every net cast into these waters. But this chapter isn't finished, and neither are we if stories like this matter to you. Hit subscribe because the world needs more guardians. Until next time, stay fierce.